Hello, dear engineers and technocrats. Today we will discuss how to solve a linear programming problem using Excel Solver. Consider a product mix problem. A furniture manufacturer produces tables and chairs. The process involves machining, sanding, and assembling the pieces to make the tables and chairs. It takes 5 hours to machine the pieces for a table, 4 hours to sand the pieces, and 3 hours to assemble a table. On the other hand, a chair requires 2 hours to machine, 3 hours to sand the pieces, and 4 hours to assemble a chair. And the available time for machining, sanding, and assembling are 270 hours, 250 hours, and 2 hours respectively. And after manufacturing, when these tables and chairs are sold, you can make profit of rupees 100 for each table and a profit of rupees 60 on a chair. Now, you have to find out that how many tables and chairs should the manufacturer produce so that its profit is maximized. There is additional requirement which we are not considering right now, but it is like that. If there is an additional requirement to produce 4 chairs for each table, means you have to make uh, a table and then requirement of 4 chair for each table is there. But right now we are not considering this. We will take this requirement later on. Now for these given data, we make a table which is presented here so you can understand the problem. So we are going to produce table and chair, and the machining are requirement. This is given the availability of machining are availability, sanding resource availability, and assembling process availability. And these are the requirement. So a table requires 5 hours, whereas it on machining, and a chair requires 2 hours. And these are the profit. If you sell a table, you earn profit of 100. You sell a chair, you earn a profit of 60. So when we formulate this problem as a linear programming problem, we first find out the decision variables. Here these are the parameters are given, and from these given parameter, and in order to maximize the profit, first we have to identify what are the decision variables. Here decision variables are how many tables we are going to produce and how many chairs we are going to produce. So let T be the number of tables we will produce, and let C be the number of chairs we are going to produce. Now we can formulate a problem, and that LP formulation will have 3 steps. First you identify the decision variable, then determine the objective function, and then define the constraints. So we have identified here 2 decision variables, how many number of tables and how many number of chairs we are going to produce, and let T is the number of tables we are going to produce, and C denote the number of chair we are going to produce. Now next step is to maximize the profit, so we define the objective function. So here a chair per unit table profit per unit table is 100, and if we are producing T tables, then total profit would be 100T. And profit per unit chair is rupees 60. And if you are producing C number of chairs, then the profit would be 60C on chairs. So total profit would be 100 multiplied by number of tables we are going to produce plus 60 multiplied by number of chairs we are going to produce. And this is our objective function, and we wish to maximize this objective function Z, that is equal to 100T plus 60C. Now this objective function, if there is no constraint, we can produce infinite number of table and infinite number of chair. There is no boundation on these numbers, and we can earn infinite profit. But here some resource availability is fixed, and we cannot have resource availability more than this. So within and there are three resources: machining resources, sanding resources, and assembly resources. So these resource and their availability will set the constraints. So we define these constraints. So this objective function is subjected to first constraint, that is machining constraint. Now a table requires 5 hours of machining, whereas chair requires 2 hours of machining. So if you are producing T number of tables, then it will consume 5T hours, and if you are producing C number of chairs, then it will consume 2C hours. And the sum of these total time taken by machining process should not be more than 270 hours, right? So this is less than and equal to constraint. So this is first constraint that denotes the machining resource constraint. Second constraint, then sanding constraint. So here a table requires 4 hours, and if you are producing T number of tables, then it will take 40 hours. Similarly, a chair takes 3 hours, and if we produce C number of chairs, then chairs will consume 3C hours. So total sanding time would be 4T plus 3C, and it should not be more than this resource availability. So again, we define less than and equal to constraint. The third constraint is assembly, and a table requires 3 hours to assemble, and a chair requires 4 hours to assemble. And if you are producing T number of tables and C number of chairs, so total assembly time, and it should be less than and equal to 200 hours. Now there is another constraint which is called non-negativity constraint, because whatever you may either you may produce table or chair, or you may not, but the number of tables or chairs will always take either zero value or positive value, and we call them as non-negativity constraint. So T would be greater than equal to 0, or chairs would be, number of chairs would be equal to greater than and equal to 0. These cannot take negative values. Okay, and it is final constraint. This is known as non-negativity constraints. So we have defined. So there are 3 steps in LP formulation. First is to identify the decision variables. Then after identifying the decision variables, we define the objective functions. And finally, in third step, we define the constraints. And always there would be a last constraint would be a non-negativity constraint. So now we consider the additional requirement which was defined in the problem, that whenever you produce a table, the number of chair you should produce, those number are 4. So you should produce 4 chairs when you produce a table. So this how we can formulate this constraint. Now this is an additional constraint. So we can define like this, which is shown in green color here. that if you are producing, let's say 5 table, then how many chairs you should have produce? To have 4 chairs, we should produce uh, 20. If you are producing 5 tables, then we should produce 20 chairs. So you can write T should be equal to C by 4. C by 4. So when we rearrange it, we get 4T minus C, and it should be not less than and equal to 0. It should be equal to 0. Here you need to change the, this should be equal to 0. Okay. Right. So now this is the complete formulation, including this additional constraint. Now I will show you how we can solve this formulation, and how we can do it. By solving means we need to find out the optimal values of this variable, decision variables T and C, so that our profit is maximum and no constraint is violated. No constraint is violated. So, and we are going to, there are different ways we can solve by any commercial software, or we can use a simplex algorithm to solve it. Uh, Here today we will solve it by Excel worksheet. So I am going to explain you how we can solve. Now in Excel worksheet, uh, to save time, I have put some values and data. So now Excel worksheet, or it will have two sections for solving a linear problem. It will have a data section. So here I have defined the data, which were earlier we discussed in a PowerPoint slide. So that is same thing here. Constraint requirement and the profit per unit is given, as well as resource availability is given. And next is the model section. So here now in model section is used to solve the LP problem with the help of solver. So in Microsoft Excel solver, you go to data, and when you click on data, you will get a solver here. Okay. Now, before clicking on the solver, we need to do some calculations here in table. So, in this table, let's say quantity produced, this table, this cell denotes the decision variables and denotes the number of tables to be produced, and this cell, that is C11 cell denotes, so this B11 cell denotes the number of tables to be produced, and C11 cell denotes the number of chairs to be produced. Okay, and now we define the maximum profit. So maximum profit, we can define a profit on a table is 100 multiplied by this B11 cell, plus a profit on a chair multiplied it by number of chairs we are going to produce. And so we have entered this formula here to get the maximum profit. Here B7 is 100 and B11 is kept a T, decision variable, which we used earlier, but here in Excel we'll keep it blank cell, and we'll define like this. We enter it, you get 0 value, because here it is 0 and 0. Okay. Now we define the constraint. So constraint, we can define left hand side of this is the left hand side of the constraint. So if a table takes equal to 5 hour takes on machining, multiplied it by this number of tables plus time consumed by a chair on machining, multiplied it by number of chairs, and then enter. Similarly, we can define left hand side of the sanding constraint. It is a table requires 4 hours on sanding multiplied by number of tables plus time taken by chair on sanding is 3. So this number multiplied by number of chairs. So enter. And similarly, we put here uh, uh, equal to last assembly constraint 3 multiplied by number of tables plus 4 multiplied by number of chairs. Okay. And in between, we have all these three were less than and equal to constant. So we put here less than and equal to, less than and equal to, less than and equal to. And here resource availability is given, so that is 270. This is equal to 250, and this is equal to 200. Okay. Right now, I am not considering this additional requirement. Okay, or we can consider, but let's see what happens if only we have these three constraints, original constraints we are considering right now. So what now we can solve this problem with the help of solver. So we press data, then press solver, and you get this solver parameter table. Okay. So here what we do, we first when you click on the solver, when you click on the solver, you get a solver parameter, this thing. So here a set target cell is given. So we click, means we here define the objective function. So here it is our objective function. So we click on B13. Okay. Now this B13 is equal to, we want to maximize, minimize. So we want to maximize. So we click on the maximize. Okay. Now by changing cells, here we will select our decision variables. So these are two variables. So we will select both the cells. We will select both the cells. If there are more than two variables, we will select all those cells which in which we define the variables, decision variables. Okay. Then we so we have set here the objective function, and objective function is of maximization type, and these by changing cells means it can change the decision variable values can only change, and further we define the constraints. So here we press on add. So it is asking cell reference. So here we define the left hand side of this cell. Okay, this symbol is less than and equal to type. You can press. If it is not, you can select greater than equal to type. I will also discuss what is the meaning of integer and binary also. Presently it is less than type. Okay, then constraint we define here right hand side. Okay. So we have added one constraint, now add another constraint. So this is left hand side. It is again less than and equal to type, and the right side, this one, second constraint. Similarly, we define third constraint. So left hand side is this one. It is also less than and equal to type. Here we denoted only to match the correct value, that what type of value we have to pick up from this drop down button. Okay, so it is okay, and this is 200. Okay, when we define all the three constraints, we press on OK, so you get these three constraints. Clear? So we have defined objective function, we have defined decision variables, and we entered all three constraints, right? Okay, now we need to add non-negativity constraint. You will not find here. You can define here, or there is a, you can click on option, and here it is given assume non-negative. So we select this box, press OK, and then we go. Okay. Now we have defined the problem in Excel solver. Next step is to solve this problem. So after entering all the objective function, defining decision variables, and entering these constraints, now it is time to solve the problem. So we solve it, and we will get some values here. So this solver recommends that you should produce 48.57 tables and 13.57 chair, and if you do so, you will not, you see here, you are going to make a profit of 5,671.42 rupees. Here, if you compare the left hand side and right hand side of the constraint, what you see, you have completely used resource 1 and resource 3. That is, machining and assembly resources have been completely used. But the sending constraint is idle for 15 hours. 250 was the availability, but you have used 235 hours. So this information you can get from these solutions. So you can make use of this sending resource, or you can give this sending resources on the rent to somebody, or you can use for other products also. So this is an additional. Okay, but you may have a question in your mind that how we can make these tables and chair in decimals. That this should be in integer. Yes. So to have integer values of the solutions, we have to define an additional constraint that I'm going to show you. So I will. You can keep the solver solution. You can press OK. You can also perform sensitivity analysis, but I'm not going to discuss right now. I will not keep this solution, or I will cancel it. Okay, and I will show you how we can get integer solution. So for getting an integer solution, we need to define an additional constraint, and that additional constraint is that these decision variables should have integer values. So how can I define? I add a constraint that is these values, and from this drop down window I will select integer. Okay, and then I press add, and now if I press OK, cancel. So okay, so I have defined here an additional constraint that these variables, decision variables, which is number of tables and number of chairs we are going to produce to get the maximum profit, and those values should be integer values. So I have now this additional constraint. Yes, I have already that these should be non-negative integer values now. Okay, because I earlier we assumed that or defined by clicking this button that these should be non-negative values, and by introducing this additional constraint, now this solver must give the solution which will have only integer values for number of tables and chair. If I press solve button on this solver parameter window, what you get here, you see. So now you get the integer solution, and now what you see that tables, you are going to produce 48 tables and 14 chairs, and your profit would be 5,640. You see here, when we produce, earlier you were using machining and assembly resource completely, but right now you see that now this machining, when we are going to produce only in integer values, your machining resource is also idle for 2 hours, and sending resources also idle for 69. So from these these values, you can also see that this assembly process is a bottleneck process now, right? Assembly process is a bottleneck process. If you have more assembly hours, you can produce more quantity, because machining hour and sending resources are lying idle, but assembly is fully utilized. So this is a bottleneck in your machining or this manufacturing process. So these are the important observations which you get from the solutions. Now, I consider the fourth additional constraint, that there should be, you should produce 4 chairs when you produce a table. So here I have to define right side of the constraint, and that was, if you remember, it was 4t minus c equal to 0. This was the additional constraint. So here I am defining, this is 4 times this thing minus number of chairs. Okay, I will enter it, and it was of equal to type, and right hand side is I need to, when I enter equal to, I first enter, press enter, and then here enter 0, right hand side was 0. So I will define, I have now introduced this additional requirement. I will again go to solver, I will add this constraint. So left hand side is this thing. Okay, now from this I will change the constraint from less than and equal to type to equal to type, and right hand side is equal to 0. Okay. Okay. So now I have introduced this fifth constraint also, or you can say in this last one, additional requirement constraint. Now let's solve this problem. What happens? Oh, now you see. Now with this additional requirement, you are going to produce 10 table, 40 chairs. Okay, and you are making a profit of 3,400. And see these things. Your resources, all the 3 resources are lying high. No resource has been utilized completely, particularly machining resource. As you can see, tables are only were consuming most of the machining resource, and you are going to produce now significantly less number of tables. Your this machining resource is about 50%, I think, right? So this way we have explained how we can get, or you if you want to find out this was the integer solution, and obviously we should have this for such a problem integer solutions only. So this is with this additional requirement we are going to make this much of profit, and we are going to produce 10 table and 40 chair. And if this additional requirement is dropped, you can drop this additional requirement by deleting this constraint. At any time you can select a constraint and you can delete and you can solve the problem. Okay. So this way you can solve any type of linear programming problem. Now there are some limitations with Excel solver. It can have around 200 variable or 100 constraints. It cannot solve a problem which will have more than 200 decision variables and 100 constraints. So if you have a problem in which you have decision variables which are more than 200 and you have constraints more than 100, then we need to use some other optimization solver like Simplex, Games, Lingo type solver are used. So thank you for patience hearing. If you like this session, please share it with your friends.